There was a general decrease in the number of murders between October and December last year. Police Minister Senzo Mchunu today released the crime statistics for the third quarter. Mchunu says 4 provinces have been problematic and have seen high crime rates.
There are 4 provinces that are our albatross when it comes to policing and crime fighting, namely Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, and Western Cape. They pose quite a challenge. They dominate criminality in the country. And these provinces coincide with where our metros are in the whole country, and also they coincide with the density of our population. And therefore, they are our focus. And we're going to continue this year focusing on them in particular.
Mchunu also says that police are concerned by the increase in rape cases as well as the attempted murder of children.
While we register an overall reduction in conduct crimes against women, we are deeply concerned by the increase in attempted murder cases against children aged 0 to 17. This is an alarming development that calls for concerted effort to protect the most vulnerable members of our society. Additionally, rape cases have increased in KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga and the Free State, whereas other provinces have recorded decreases. This data serves as a stark reminder that gender-based violence remains a critical issue requiring intensified interventions.
Let's get reaction now. Joining us is Calvin Rafadi, who's a crime expert. Mr. Rafadi, good to have you on the program this evening. I guess the big question is South Africa winning or losing the fight against crime? When you look at the latest crime statistics, they do show some decrease in some areas. What do you make of it?
Good evening, Kanta, and good evening to your viewers. We want to first take the opportunity to condemn the situation of yesterday at Lusukisuki, where 3 women were killed. And we still, by the way, are waiting for what was the motive of the last year, the 18 that were killed. But to tell you the honest truth, what the stats are read off and what we see on the ground is totally something different. People are indeed affected by these criminals, and there's a lot of firearms, there's a lot of recruitment in the underage to commit these particular horrific crimes, and indeed crime is still high.
Yeah, so looking at these stats, and despite this drop in overall murder rates, the Eastern Cape still remains the most murderous province. What factors do you think contribute to this phenomena?
Yeah, there's a number of so many guns that are roaming the streets. And like we said before, the time when we said, let's call on a state of emergency, we were precisely saying that, these guns, they need to be taken off the streets. Stop and search operations, many roadblocks. And we realized that, the criminals, they know that the nature of the Operation Shanyela only commences from Thursday up to Sunday. So, but crime then is still, persists and is still high. So there are a number of high number of guns in those areas in the Eastern Cape. And, from what we picked up on the ground, they say many of these mass shootings, they are related to muti killings or fighting of livestock, or even something that we heard that is very shocking, whereby women are killed because they are accused of infecting sexually transmitted disease or even HIV to certain of the suspects.
Staying with the theme of the murder rates, the Western Cape recorded the highest number of gang-related murders, Mr. Rafadi. Why is gang violence so deeply entrenched in that province, and what solutions have worked elsewhere?
Yeah, in the Western Cape, the problem with the gang violence, they are fighting for thefts, whereby there's too many underworlds and who recruit and are even worshipped. So the drugs, it's one of the areas where you find high number of youth recruited to commit these crimes at the age of even less than 17 years. Because the criminals, they know that, if you catch a 16-year-old or 15-year-old or even 17 with a firearm, they go under the juvenile process, the social development process. So they get lesser punishment than any other person. But these kids, they are fed with drugs. Like we always say that every packet of drugs that is delivered in Western Cape, is brought along with an illegal firearm so that it can protect the turf. But the anti-gang unit, as long as we don't rotate those members, we're not going to yield results in the Western Cape.
Coming closer to where we are in Gauteng and also mentioning KwaZulu-Natal, for instance, they contribute to the highest murder numbers. Let's speak to this uniqueness. What are the unique crime challenges in these provinces?
Yeah, I mean, even the previous minister, Mr. Bidikele, has told us that, many criminals who are hiding in the villages, in dangerous areas in the KZN, most of them, they're intertwined. You find them even in the hostels here in Gauteng. So, and they are mostly come under the name of izinkabis. So to hire izinkabis now is a high demand, and their market now is booming, and they kill for a price. So if they kill for a price and there's the high demand of them, so that's why you see them being violent and roaming around between Eastern Cape, KZN, and even in the Gauteng. But in the same breath, we also realize that there's a lot of people that are divorcing, and you find that izinkabis, they will call another spouse and say, we are paid X amount to kill you, and then just counteract and pay us, extra money. But we realize that there is a scam that is run in prison, like what the minister has said, has emphasized and acknowledged that a lot of criminals in the cells, the inmates, they are in possession of cell phones. So those are some of the scams that are run from the prison.
As we wrap, Mr. Rafadi, Minister Senzo Mchunu mentioned that police interventions are actually working right now. Do you think these strategies are sustainable in the long run? Well, at least those he's mentioned.
No, I think we need to engage more, because we can't squarely, put the blame squarely on SAPS. We need social development, like we mentioned that our youth is high on drugs and alcohol abuse. We need control lesser because of the issue about, illegal initiation school. We still, puzzle ourselves that how do they declare those kids who are abducted and they die there? Are they normal death, or are they regarded as murder? And that's why, again, we question the states when it comes to that issue, because black kids are dying in illegal initiation school. We must underline that. But at the same time, we need, with the police, the structure of crime intelligence needs to be intensified. And again, Department of Justice, they need to be in those invisors, in the front desk, because of the people on the ground. They are talking about brown envelope, and we all know what is brown envelope is. A person rapes or murders somebody, the next day you find them again in the street. So Department of Justice, they need to be on board and explain how do they, deal with the issues of certain schedules of crimes and criminals being released easily on bail.
Right. Mr. Rafadi, thank you so much for your time and giving us your perspective. Calvin Rafadi giving us his views on the latest crime stats, the latest quarterly crime stats.